packs on Magic Arena. I just unlocked these by buying the Mastery Pass for Throne of Eldraine. Let's get started. We'll go in chronological order. We have a Hammer Dropper, which is a giant soldier for 2 red, white. It has Mentor, and it's a 5/2. Sky Knight Legionnaire is a human knight for 1 red, white. It has flying and haste, and it's a 2/2. Child of Night, 1 and a black for a vampire with lifelink. It's a 2/1. I bought the Sizzle. It's an instant for 3 blue, red. Draw 2 cards, then you may discard a non-land card. When you do, I bought the Sizzle, deals 4 damage to target creature. We have a common wild card, Flight of Equinox, is 7 and white for a 4/5 human knight with Convoke and flying. Gatekeeper Gargoyle is 6 mana for a 3/3 artifact creature gargoyle with flying. Gatekeeper Gargoyle enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each gate you control. Experimental Frenzy is an enchantment for 3 and a red. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play the top card of your library. You can't play cards from your hand. 3 and a red, destroy Experimental Frenzy. That's a good card. Next pack, we have Goblin Electromancer, blue-red for a 2/2 Goblin Wizard. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Sure Strike is an instant for 1 and a red. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Leap Frog is 2 and a blue for a 3/1 frog. Leap Frog has flying as long as you cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. Hunted Witness is a 1/1 human for a single white. When Hunted Witness dies, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. We have another common wild card and the same uncommons as the last pack. Izoni Thousand-Eyed is a 2/3 legendary creature elf shaman for 2 black and 2 green. Undergrowth. When Izoni Thousand-Eyed enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. Green-black, sacrifice another creature. You gain 1 life and draw a card. Scorchmark is an instant for 1 and a red. Scorchmark deals 2 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Hasta Officer is a 3/2 human soldier for 2 and a red. When Hasta Officer enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Rafter Demon, 2 black red for a 4/2 demon with spectacle for 3 black red. When Raptor Demon enters the battlefield, if its spectacle cost was paid, each opponent discards a card. Sage's Row Savant is a 2/1 Vidalcan Wizard for 1 and a blue. When Sage's Row Savant enters the battlefield, scry 2. Fairy Duelist is a 1/2 Fairy Rogue for 1 and a blue, with flash and flying. When Fairy Duelist enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-0 until end of turn. Macabre Mockery is an instant for 2 black red. Put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Sunder Shaman is a 5/5 giant shaman for red, green. Sunder Shaman can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Whenever Sunder Shaman deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Bedeck and Bedazzle. Bedeck is an instant for 2 hybrid Rakdos mana. Target creature gets +3/-3 until end of turn. Bedazzle is an instant for 4 black red. Destroy target non-basic land. Bedazzle deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Undercity Scavenger is a 3/3 Ogre Warrior for 3 and a black. When Undercity Scavenger enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Undercity Scavenger, then scry 2. Prowling Caracal is a 3/1 cat for 1 and a white. Burning Tree Vandal is a 2/1 human rogue for 2 and a red. It has a riot. Whenever Burning Tree Vandal attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Skitter Eel is a 3/3 fish crab for 3 and a blue. And for 2 and a blue, it has Adapt 2. Titanic Brawl. It's an instant for 1 and a green. This spell costs 1 less to cast if it targets a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Target creature you control Fire for 2 and a black. Whenever Blood Mist Infiltrator attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, Blood Mist Infiltrator can't be blocked this turn. Rhythm of the Wild is an enchantment for 1 red green. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Non-token creatures you control have Riot. A mythic wild card. Naga Eternal is a 3/2 zombie Naga for 2 and a blue. Law Rune Enforcer is a 1/2 human soldier for a single white, and for generic and tap target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less. Charmed Stray is a 1/1 cat for a single white with lifelink. When Charmed Stray enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control named Charmed Stray. Raging Crunch is a 4/3 beast for 2 and a red. Raging Crunch can't attack alone. Goblin Assault Team is a 4/1 Goblin Warrior for 3 and a red with haste. When Goblin Assault Team dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Storm the Citadel is a sorcery for 4 and a green. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. Dibbled Rakish Instigator is 2 and a red for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. Your opponents can't gain life. -2, create a 1/1 red devil creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Command the Dread Horde is a sorcery for 4 black. Choose any number of target creature and or planeswalker cards in graveyards. Command the Dread Horde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them onto the battlefield under your control. Crushed Descent is an instant for 3 and a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. Amass 2. Vraska's Finisher is a 3/2 Gorgon Assassin for 2 and a black. When Vraska's Finisher enters the battlefield, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. Jaya's Greeting is an instant for 1 and a red. Jaya's Greeting deals 3 damage to target creature. Scry 1. Blue Mulk is a 4/4 plant elemental for 3 and a green. When Bloom Hulk enters the battlefield, proliferate. Vivian's Grizzly is a 2/3 bear spirit for 2 and a green. 3 and a green. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature or a planeswalker card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't, put the card into your hand. Put it on the bottom of your library. This time we have an uncommon wild card. And Neoform is a sorcery for green blue. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrificed creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Then shuffle your library. That's a good card. Rolesque Apex Hybrid is a 4/5 legendary creature human mutant for 2 green blue with flying and trample. When Rolesque Apex Hybrid enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. When Rolesque dies, proliferate, then proliferate again. Chandra's Outrage is an instant for 2 red. Chandra's Outrage deals 4 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller. Marauder's Axe is an artifact equipment for 2 generic. Equip for 2 generic. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Angelic Gift is an enchantment aura for 1 and a white. Enchant creature. When Angelic Gift enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has flying. Bone Splinters is a sorcery for a single black. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Destroy target creature. We get another common wild card. Apostle of Purifying Light is a 2/1 human cleric for 1 and a white. It has protection from black. For 2, exile target card from a graveyard. Chandra Novice Pyromancer is 3 and a red for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. +1 elementals you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. -1. Add 2 red to your mana pool. -2. Chandra Novice Pyromancer deals 2 damage to any target. Masterful Replication is an instant for 5 and a blue. Choose 1. Create 2 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature tokens. Choose target artifact you control. Each other copy of that artifact until end of turn. Stone Golem is a 4/4 artifact creature golem for 5 generic. Rabid Bite is a sorcery for 1 and a green. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Boreal Elemental is a 3/4 elemental for 4 and a blue with flying. Spells your opponents cast that target Boreal Elemental cost 2 more to cast. Netcaster Spider is a 2/3 spider for 2 and a green. With reach, whenever Netcaster Spider blocks a creature with flying, Netcaster Spider gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Keldon Raider is a 4/3 human warrior for 2 red. When Keldon Raider enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Diamond Knight is a 1/1 artifact creature knight for 3 generic. With vigilance, as Diamond Knight enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen color, put a +1/+1 counter on Diamond Knight. Bloodthirsty Aerialist is a 2/3 vampire rogue for 1 black with flying. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Adepsis All-Seeing 4/5 legendary creature Sphinx for 3 blue with flying and 2 and a blue and tap. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Whenever Adepsis All-Seeing deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand. If cards with at least 6 different converted mana costs are revealed this way, that player loses the game. Befuddle is an instant for 2 and a blue. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. Draw a card. Brightwood Tracker is a 2/4 elf scout for 3 and a green. 5 and a green and tap. Look at the top of 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Fairy Miscreant is a 1/1 fairy rogue for a single blue with flying. When Fairy Miscreant enters the battlefield, if you control another creature named Fairy Miscreant, draw a card. Raise the Alarm is an instant for 1 and a white. Create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Moat Piranhas is a 3/3 fish for 1 and a blue with Defender. Ogre Sage Breaker is a 4/3 Ogre Berserker for 2 black red. For 2 black red, destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Scuttlemutt is a 2/2 artifact creature scarecrow for 3 generic. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Tap, target creature becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. Gravedigger's Cage is an artifact for 1 generic. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. Raise the alarm again. Brightwood Tracker again. Blade Brand is an instant for 1 and a black. Target creature gains Death Touch until end of turn. Draw a card. Infuriate is an instant for a single red. Target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn. Moorland Inquisitor is a 2/2 human soldier for 1 and a white. For 2 and a white, Moorland Inquisitor gains first strike until end of turn. Flame Sweep is an instant for 2 and a red. Flame Sweep deals 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. Lightning Stormkin is a 2/2 elemental wizard for blue-red and has flying and haste. Dungeon Geist is a 3/3 spirit for 2 blue-blue with flying. When Dungeon Geist enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Dungeon Geist. Brimstone Trebuchet is a 1/3 artifact creature wall for 2 and a red with Defender and Reach. Tap, Brimstone Trebuchet deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever a knight enters the battlefield under your control, untap Brimstone Trebuchet. Fell the Pheasant is an instant for 1 and a green. Fell the Pheasant deals 5 damage to target creature with flying. Create a food token. Idyllic Grange. The Plains. Idyllic Grange enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more planes. When Idyllic Grange enters the battlefield untapped, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, and it taps for white. Beloved Princess is a 1/1 human noble for single white with lifelink. Beloved Princess can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Ginger Brute is a 1/1 artifact creature food golem for a single generic. It has haste. For 1 mana, Ginger Brute can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. 2 and tap, sacrifice Ginger get some water. Red cap melee is an instant for a single red. Red cap melee deals 4 damage to target creature or player, planeswalker. If a non-red permanent is dealt damage this way, you sacrifice a land. Keeper of Fables is a 4/5 cat for 3 green. Whenever one or more non-human creatures you control do combat damage to a player, draw a card. Oh good, I need more of these. Gilded Goose is a 0/2 bird for a single green with flying. When Gilded Goose enters the battlefield, create a food token. 1 and a green, and tap. Create a food token. Tap. Sacrifice a food. Add 1 mana of any color. Lost Legion is a 2/3 Spirit Knight for 1 black. When Lost Legion enters the battlefield, scry 2. Curious Bear is a 1/3 Human Peasant for 1 and a green. Treats to Share is a sorcery adventure for a single green. Create a food token. Rose Thorn Acolyte is a 2/3 elf druid for 2 and a green, and it can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Seasonal Ritual for a single green is a sorcery adventure. Add 1 mana of any color. Roving Keep is a 5/7 artifact creature wall for 7 mana with Defender. 7. Roving Keep gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. It can attack this turn as though it didn't have Defender. We have another common wildcard and an uncommon wildcard. Rally for the Throne is an instant for 2 and a white. Create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. Adamant, if at least 3 white mana was spent to cast this spell, you gain 1 life for each creature you control. Ooh, I need more of these as well. Fires of Invention is an enchantment for 3 and a red. You can cast spells only during your turn, and you can cast no more than 2 spells each turn. You may cast spells with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control without paying their mana costs. This card is very strong. Lash of Thorns is an instant for a single black. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. Fling is an instant for 1 and a red. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Fling deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. Golden Egg is an artifact food for 2 generic. battlefield, draw a card. 1 and tap, sacrifice a golden egg, add 1 mana of any color. 2, tap and sacrifice golden egg, you gain 3 life. Foreboding Fruit is a sorcery for 2 and a black. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Adamant, if at least 3 black mana was spent to cast this spell, create a food token. Searing Barrage is an instant for 4 and a red. Searing Barrage deals 5 damage to target creature. Adamant, if at least 3 red mana was spent to cast this spell, Searing Barrage deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. Lock Dragon is a 3/2 dragon for 4 hybrid isn't mana. With flying, whenever Lock Dragon enters the battlefield or attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Arcanus Owl is a 3/3 artifact creature bird for 4 hybrid Azorius mana. With flying, when Arcanus Owl enters the battlefield, look at the top of 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact or enchantment card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Hushbringer is a 1/2 fairy for 1 and a white. With flying and a lifelink, creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. 2 more packs. Fling. Raging Redcap is a 1/2 Goblin Knight for 2 and a red, and it has double strike. Scalding Cauldron is an artifact for 1 generic. For 3 tap, sacrifice Scalding Cauldron. It deals 3 damage to target creature. Ramrock Knight is 3/1. Dwarf Knight for 1 and a red, and it can't block. Boulder Rush is an instant adventure for a single red. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Blood Haze Wolverine is a 2/1 Wolverine for 1 and a red. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, Blood Haze Wolverine gets +1/+1 and gains first strike until end of turn. Righteousness is an instant for single white. Target blocking creature gets +7/+7 until end of turn. Fairy Vandal is a 1/2 fairy rogue for 1 and a blue with flash and flying. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Fairy Vandal. Garruk Cursed Huntsman is a 5 loyalty planeswalker for 4 black green. For 0, create 2/2 black and green wolf creature tokens with, when this creature dies, put a loyalty counter on each Garruk you control. -3, destroy target creature, draw a card. And -6, you get an emblem with creatures you control get +3/+3 and have trample. Another raging redcap. Eye Collector is a 1/1 fairy for single black with flying. Whenever Eye Collector deals combat damage to a player, each player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Vantress Paladin is a 2/2 human knight for 4 and a blue with flying and adamant. If at least 3 blue mana was spent to cast this spell, Vantress Paladin enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Forever Young is a sorcery for 1 and a black. Put any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your library. Draw a card. Another Blood Haze Wolverine. Wandermare is a 3/3 horse for 1 green/white. Whenever you cast a creature spell that has an adventure, put a +1/+1 counter on Wandermare. Epic Downfall is a sorcery for 1 and a black. Exile target creature with convert mana cost 3 or greater. Before I open the last rare, make sure that you comment and subscribe. And I hope that this video was relaxing and enjoyable for you. Vantress Gargoyle is a 5/4 artifact creature gargoyle for 1 and a blue. It has flying. Vantress Gargoyle can't attack unless defending player has 7 or more cards in their graveyard. Vantress Gargoyle can't block unless you have 4 or more cards in hand.